Good news, Absolute Superman #1 has officially sold out. I guess that's actually bad news if you didn't get a copy, but don't worry. Second printing is on the way. This is a significant milestone, not only for the series, but DC Comics and, of course, the entire Absolute Universe. I want to talk about what this sellout means for the series and what it could signify for the future of the Absolute Universe and beyond. It was released on Wednesday, yesterday, the 6th, and already sold out at the distributor level. It's a very rapid sellout, mirrors the success of the first issues of Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman, which also were quickly off the shelves. Why is it selling so well? A lot of reasons. First of all, I think that the success of Batman and Wonder Woman got people excited. More than that, well, maybe not more than that, but in addition, the DC's done a great job marketing, kind of trickling out art, pages, variants, just a lot of great stuff to hype this thing up. And it is a fresh take on a classic character. Who doesn't love Superman? A lot of people I know. I used to be one of them. But this is the most interesting version of Superman I've seen. I've read lately as I've learned to love Superman, and I've learned that I misunderstood him. I've read a lot of comics, a lot of Superman comics, and to me, this is the most interesting one. He's very different from what we're used to. And he's got some extra tricks up his sleeves. Watch my review on the comic, or better yet, just read it to find out what some of those are, and also some of his vulnerabilities that really ground him as a character. That can be something that a typical superhero story in general can miss. And the great thing about the Absolute Universe is that's kind of baked in, because it's an underdog universe. This is Dark Side universe, and that's baked into the cake. Really, really shows through in Absolute Superman #1. Finally, high quality creative team. You just can't say enough about Jason Aaron, Rafa Sandoval. It is everything coming together. You've got a just top tier storytelling, top tier artwork combined to make a great comic. But I want to put this in historical context, and I would love for you to let me know if you have, a better frame of reference, or if you feel like any of this is inaccurate, because, it's harder to find these numbers these days. But to understand the significance of these sales, I think it's important to look at some historical benchmarks. Obviously, during the 90s, everybody loved comics still. X-Men #1, Spider-Man #1 sold millions of copies. Part of the reason for that was speculative buying and the introduction of variant covers, stuff like that. But also, it was just a time when people really loved comics. And recently, you just don't see comics reaching the 200,000 copy mark. Star Wars #1, I think that sold over 1 million. Amazing Spider-Man #1 sold about 500,000. King Spawn sold about 500,000. Like I said, it's harder to find sales numbers these days, so correct me if I'm wrong. But outside of Batman '89, I don't know that DC's had this kind of, I don't know that they've seen these numbers like this since Hush, which I guess will be 2003. So that kind of success, rare in comics these days. The rapid sellout of Absolute Superman #1, obviously there's strong interest in this reimagined narrative, and it's become one of the top selling comics of the past decade. Now, what does this mean for the Absolute Universe? I think the success of Superman #1, Absolute Superman that is, has several implications, all of them good, of course. First of all, it suggests that contrary to the opinions of the vocal minority that I'm sure that we've all seen around YouTube, Reddit, X, and everywhere else, readers are receptive to these reimagined narratives. And why wouldn't you be? Whatever you think Superman is, or whatever you think Batman is, or whatever you think Wonder Woman is, those characters are still whatever you think they are, even if somebody puts out a comic that you think just totally is against everything that they stand for. And in my mind, I just say, that wasn't a real Batman comic, and I move on. Or that wasn't real Superman, Wonder Woman, whatever. And that's what we should all do, because we need to be encouraging these kind of big swings right now. If we want to see comics come back, and I do, then we need for these people to have success. And to be able to have success, you need to take risks. I'm not saying we can't complain. I'm not saying that we can't ask for different things and ask for them to improve, but let's not turn on them just for trying different things. Also, the high demand obviously is going to encourage DC Comics to expand the Absolute line, I would think. I don't know if they should do that too quickly, but I mean, I would be trying to go as quickly as I could without affecting the quality. So we should be seeing new stories, new characters within the universe. Hopefully, Green Lantern, Flash, and Martian Manhunter are not the last heroes that we'll see emerge in the Absolute Universe. What's next? Looking beyond just the Absolute Universe. This success could and should influence DC's overall approach. Take bigger swings and more big swings. You've got a lot of people now who are, I think, coming into comics. Maybe they've never read comics, or maybe they hadn't read them in a while, and all of a sudden they hear about this and it gets them really pumped, and now you've got their attention. So if the Absolute Universe keeps building on this momentum, then we should see DC invest more in these kind of reimaginings, more in this kind of storytelling, and really create some big, exciting stories for us, instead of maybe focusing so much on the traditional continuity. I mean, some people might not be in total agreement with that. I'd be interested to hear what you think. I mean, what would you think? I'm not saying this would happen, but what would you think if DC started to focus more on these absolute stories than even the main continuity? Would that be okay? Would that be, you wouldn't care either way? Or maybe that would be terrible. I mean, I'm sure that if you're one of the people who doesn't like these characters, it would be terrible for you. In my view, I don't want to see them get rid of anything, because I think there's a lot of good things going on each side. And in fact, I love the idea of like these universes eventually, combining and moving around in interesting ways. So that's what I hope to see. And I hope that it pushes the entire comic industry to up its game. Marvel is one especially that I think has come to rely a little bit too much on the IP they have and not so much on the storytelling. And I think that goes for movies, shows, comics, and maybe this will change that. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about potentially it'd be cool if Image did something like this. Although Image is already doing some cool stuff with Transformers, G.I. Joes, and Void Rivals. I'll have to do another video about that. Ultimately, I hope that this gets more people interested in comics overall. I hope that it brings in new people and that they say, oh, wow, reading a comic book is like reading a movie. But, that's what I don't really understand why there's already not more people reading comics. I mean, clearly we love the movies. Why would we not want to read the comics? Anyway, so with the Absolute Universe showing great promise, it is an awesome time to be a comic fan, especially a DC fan. And God knows we've seen a lot of events and universes come and go. It's not every day we get to see the beginning of a new universe that actually has the potential to reshape the whole lineup. I mean, one that has some staying power, that will not just be like, oh gosh, I don't even want to think about it. What I do want to think about is, who do you want to see join the Absolute Universe? Let me know in the comments. I want to think about this. I want to talk about this. I'm happy about the fact that Absolute Superman has sold out, that the Absolute Universe is doing so well, and it's just all I want to talk about. I think there was some other big news earlier in the week. I can't remember what it was. Maybe like the Oscars or something. Somebody won an Oscar, and maybe like a lot of people were, I don't know, maybe it wasn't the Oscars. Anyway, I haven't been paying attention to that. I've been paying attention to the Absolute Universe. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay updated on all things Absolute Universe. And